Hello there. Gonna be a short one, I know. She always says it's gonna be a short one, but I gotta put away 15 minutes. It will be a short one. As you can see, it is overcast, raining off and on. Got some stuff to do, more garbage to get out. I just want to say real quick. It's so good to see the very smug, self entitled Republicans, specifically MAGA Republicans, absolutely coming freaking unglued because we did a bait and switch. Yeah, I was mad too. Y'all saw it. I was angry, and I was angry because they should have done this when it was first when he had that week away talking with the family and such. It should have been then. But I understand, in case anybody didn't know, Biden at the after the debate. It's not thinking fast. After the debate, he had had a cold, and after the debate, they found that he also had COVID. Um, which, if he had a cold to start with, either it was the beginning signs of COVID and didn't realize it, or he actually did have a cold. And if he did, when you're sick of any type or even under a lot of stress, that lowers your immunity. It lowers your immunity level of it's not as efficiently working. Let's say you're immunized. You're what are they? Anyway, I'm trying to remember the phrase that they used. Um, so that could be why, some of that brain fog and stuff. Um, but either way, yeah, I was angry, just because of how it was done. They should have con- let us know before they kind of did it. Um, but that being said, it's just that we all were galvanized around Joe, um, and it took us a little off guard too, which wasn't appreciated. But the only reason I was upset that they just shoved the VP in there is because I understand, because of the war chest, because of the foundation. It's under the Biden Harris name, and that would have taken a while to get changed. And in the meantime, cannot use that money for advertising. So for the campaign. So I mean, I get that point, and I do get that it made sense. The thing that I was upset about is we really haven't seen much of her speaking in her current position and such, and acting. It's not that she hasn't been doing it, but there haven't been reporting, mainstream media or otherwise, very much. And when they are covered, it's just, like a 2-minute thing. And that's with the person talking about the piece and then showing a clip. You don't really get a sense of the person. You see a lot of her laughing. And even though I know she was AG, in her state, I was hesitant because they weren't kind of upping her beforehand and letting us see more of that stuff. Now they are, and all the footage that different places she's visited in the role of vice president of the United States of America. We're starting to see that, and of course, now we're starting to get current people a little more trained on her rather than the president. So I can say, I mean, as a person, just the fact of her race and her gender, sex, whatever, um, I was thrilled because it's about damn time we had some women leading this damn country because they can't be doing any worse than the men. I mean, I'm just saying, you know. The Amazons are also ruled by women, and seemed to be a lot of good shit there. So, I know I'm just being whimsical, but indeed, I am very now that I've had a little bit of processing time to readjust my my loyalty. And that is because I am not in a political cult. That is because I was able to, once I got my feet, I mean, anybody with surprising, unexpected news is, if they're being honest and they're actually human, it's a no-brainer. You're going to be like, what the hell? Excuse me. No, no, no. Time out, guy. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Back up. Excuse me? Once that goes by, you're like, oh, yeah. I was kind of wanting her to run anyway. Duh. Because really, she was. Because I had been saying, if I had my choice, it's not that Biden didn't do a good job, but there's just so much. He doesn't need any more stress, especially with what just happened, you know, with Hunter and stuff. He doesn't need any more stress at this time of his life. He's done. He's paid his dues, you know. And I was like, I'd love to see somebody like Jamie Raskin, or Katie Porter, or even Gavin Newsom. Of course, Bernie, and I don't care. He's even older than Biden. But, you know, like I said, Katie Porter would have been lovely. She's good. But she is so valuable in the Senate. I mean, really, where she can get her hands and her brain into some of these things. These, and I don't like to say smaller things, but, you know, compared to world stage, you know. I hate to say it, but kind of with Bernie Sanders too. I think that's, and Jamie, and that's probably why we'll never see them running unless they were really prodded into it, because they're so freaking valuable. And not for the Democrats. Yeah, it is going longer. It's not that they're valuable to the Democrats. They're valuable to the country. And if they're valuable to the country, they're valuable on the world stage. Because, like it or not, it is not an ego thing to say the rest of the freaking planet look to America. What are the Americans doing on that? What do the Americans think on this? You know, it just is. We are, like, the most powerful on the world stage. And that's why some people with less standards in themselves are become those arrogant Americans. You know, English isn't spoken every country I go to. You know, kind of an attitude. Because you're raised in America, you're raised from like a little one, knowing that you live in a country and are a citizen of a country and were born in a country that what happens in our country affects the entire planet. And that's not always true with all countries, even the bigger ones. So, you know, we hear that constantly growing up. And some people that have a little tendency to be narcissistic or full of themselves or self-entitled. And I hate when people say, oh, they're so entitled. No, they're not entitled. They are self-entitled. They think they're entitled. That's the term to use. Please keep that in mind. When somebody's like, oh, well, they're just very entitled. No, it's called self-entitled. Entitled means, in the general concept of most people, you know, that's what that means. Okay, so don't get that all mixed up. But yes, going back to the original thing, Kamala is a good choice. I didn't think she never showed any interest in it, and that's why I just never, in my processing in my brain, why I never really more than a fleeting consideration of her, because she's really never shown any interest, just like Katie Porter or Jamie Raskin, or they've never showed any interest in ascending to a higher position. And I think that is because they're so damn valuable, because they're so good at what they do and know. Their personalities, whatever that combination that makes it them, they're so good at it in the position, and they wouldn't be able to advocate for whatever things they are at the time in that position. You have to become much more broadly as focused instead of like nano focused type of thing. But I'm excited for Kamala. Number one, it screws the Republicans up. All the people that were on the fence, I don't want to vote for Trump. But Biden, man, he's old. He's slowing down. He needs to just enjoy the rest of his life, kind of thing. We've got all those people now with Kamala, because guess what? She's 59? I'm 61, dudes. Okay? All of you guys saying, oh, all the little trolls out there saying, oh, you're old, you're this, that, you're that. Yeah, well, and a lot of the young generations diss a lot of boomers. Let me tell you something. You've been dissing boomers, what they've done to your planet. I'm a boomer, Gen X cusp. I'm at the very end of the boomers, the very beginning of the Gen X's. So is Kamala, okay? And we have never had the higher positions. We have not, the generations before us are who's been having all these higher, positions recently. So you're blaming boomers when it's actually the generation before us. Obama was probably the closest to my generation. So we've been kind of shoved out. We might have been the generation when it was happening, but we were also the generation that got abortions legal to start with, okay? It was because of our generation that did a lot of things, desegregate a lot of that shit. We grew up seeing, and we were like, that doesn't make no sense. That's not mathy. You send us to math school, and then you show us shit that doesn't math, okay? It's just that they wouldn't get the F out of our way in a lot of the higher positions. As you see, they still wanted to keep their generational people. And they weren't allowing us to take those higher positions. They kept pushing us out. And that's why I never understood why you're bitching at us when it's the generation ahead of us that's still hogging the seats. Now we're the older generation. You never let us have our fucking seat when it was our younger, when we were the mid-generation. You kept pushing us out because you old geezers wanted to stay there. So, till you died. So, that's why I take offense a lot of times. Oh, boomers, that's okay, boomer. Dude, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have had a lot of the freedoms that people have had. So, with the boomer shit. Because number one, I'm not a full-fledged boomer. Like I said, I'm a cusper between the two. Boomers go up to 64. I was born in 63. Hello. Okay? So don't be blaming me for all that shit just because I fall, or those couple years people that fall in that same year. Don't blame us. But I am getting behind Kamala. I'm already behind her. My head's already worked it out. Like I said, it was at one point I had wished, I even had said to myself, God, I wish she would just show some interest. So get behind Kamala, okay? Because I think she has enough endorsements now from the different states, as you've been seeing headlines. This governor, that governor endorses her, blah blah blah. And you think, who the f cares? Well, that's how they get the nomination. The Democrats, when they say they're going to do it, they're running. The different states had leaders and such of the states weigh in and say, yeah, our state's behind it, yep, we're behind it. And then you have to get a certain amount before you're a legitimate candidate. And she's just about there, I think. I mean, do you know she's like, it was like 80 billion or something, like in 24 hours when she announced. That is how excited not only Democrats but independents and old style Republicans, just on the upper levels. That's how much. And the donors, the large ticket donors, have already been like dumping it in. Uh, and you see how everybody's on the right is like all aflutter and all taking barbs at her, which are absolutely juvenilely ridiculous. Um, Laura Loomis saying that Kamala's sexual history, she's probably had so many abortions, that's why she doesn't have any children, she's ruined her uterus. Her sexual history now needs to be, further investigated, yada yada yada. Excuse me, Laura. No, it doesn't. And if you believe that, then maybe your vagina, uterus, ovaries, and fallopian tubes should be under further scrutiny, if that's what you think. Maybe your vagina and its history should be more closely examined, Laura Luma. Because Loomer, excuse me. I know what your name is. It's Laura Loomer. But it's more like Lori Luma to me, okay? Because that's the obnoxious shit they're coming out with. Excuse me. I don't believe Kamala Harris's reproductive anatomy, her vagina, or any other part have had any legal issues lately. Do you? Because Donald Trump's penis has a lot of, negative issues attached to it, shall we say. So they're losing it, because before it was a battle between the two old white dudes. But that's not the battle anymore now, is it? No, 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 no. Now the story has changed. And that clip of Kamala with the yellow chocolate dancing with the kids and the lunch. Yeah. Yeah. Put that next to Trump on his rally stage going. That's how Trump dances. He goes. Yeah. That's like a battery declining robot dance. Kamala and everybody on the Juneteenth, when everybody was kind of at their chairs, and Joe was like, because Joe isn't one of those, big deal. Next to him, Kamala, even her husband were like, yeah, let's go. They don't even have that now. No, 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 MAGA. That is not who you're running against now, is it? Peace out.